Now what we're going to do is make the long splice. Now the long splice isn't going to increase the size of our rope. However, the long splice hasn't got the capacity. In fact, you won't see them give the capacity for long splice, mainly because it depends on how long a long splice you make. Plus there's half hitches. Wherever your strands come together, there's going to be half hitches. Now normally this long splice, you're going to want, say, at least a splice where your hitches are like 3 feet apart. Or say maybe the overall length, let's go like this. The overall length would be about 3 feet. So that would mean that I would have to unravel about 1.5 feet on either side. Or better, probably. I'd have to go a little better. We won't make it. We're going to be going out of the picture here the way it is. We'll make ours a short long splice, if you will. And you'll get the general idea as to how it's made up. The trick in this splice is to make sure that the lay of your rope match. In other words, I'm going to take my strands here and marry them up again. I have to have one strand in between the strands going the other way. Now, what I want to do is I'll come in closer and show you this. What I have to do is have one of the strands in one direction replace one of the strands in the other direction. Now, I'm going to peel this strand out going off to the left, and then I'm going to take this strand that's in the right position, replace it. So kind of keep that in mind. I'm gonna back off with the camera now. You just follow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unwind this one and put this one in its place. Okay. Now, what I want to do is make sure that I keep my strands from moving around on me. In other words, I'm going to have this one come in. I'm going to bring it in tight right here because this is where it has to be. If the preform is to match, it has to come around and fit snug. See? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to back this one off. To the right distance. Now before I go too far, what I want to do is have the strand that replaces it come right back in behind, and it'll keep my lay of my rope proper. See how that comes back in? It looks just like the regular rope itself. It doesn't look any different. I'm taking this strand out. In other words, see how I can unwrap that one? I can take that one out, and then I can wrap this one in its place. See? Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get out here to a point where I'll stop. Now, what I want to do out here, I think I can come on a little bit further. We'll come around to this point. What I want to do now is to put a half hitch. I'm going to hitch these two up. And the way I want to do that is I want to twist my hitch in there in such a way that my tail comes around with the lay of the rope in this direction. So I have to go over the top and come through like this. And then I'm going to pull it tight. Now you see there's going to be a little bit of a knob there. You can't get away from that. But if I make my hitch right, it'll come right in and lay in its proper position. See? Okay, now we'll back off again, and you'll see I've got my one strand replaced. Now what I have to do is to take one of the other strands. Now I'm going to go the other way with it. I'm going to go to the right. Now, I have to make sure, here's probably the trickiest part of the whole splice. I have to make sure that at this point right here, that I have the right strand replacing it. If I leave behind two strands and they aren't in the same, say, position, then I'm not going to be able to mate them up. So what I have to do now is to run this strand back. Okay, then run this one in its place. So now you see I've got two back here that are mated up in the same position. So I'm going to be all right. See, now I'll run this one back. And like I said, all the time, just kind of keep the other one coming. Okay, now what I have to do is wrap this one the same way, and I'll come in again. What I have to do now is to wrap this one in the same way. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come around and bring this one underneath like this, and then pull it up tight. If I would wrap that around the other way, you'd have a big knob there, and you'd know you'd be wrong. So just make sure that when you go around, you come out, and your tails actually go out with the strand. If I ran it the wrong way, like I said, you'd be an obvious big knob there, and you wouldn't be right. Now over here, same way again. Now what I want to do is wrap these two, and there again, I'm going to take this one and come around. I'll take this one and come underneath like this. And then pull it in tight. Okay. Now we'll back off, and you can see that I've got my splice made, but I haven't burned the ends. I've got a hitch there, there, and there. What I have to do is cut those, and there's a little bit of a trick to that too, because I can use the burned end to help hold it in place. It'll actually make it stronger, and I can use it to help tighten it up. What I have to do is cut these. That's all. I'll try it with this one right here. Go through, I'll cut them all, I'll make them all look like something here. Always cut away from yourself. This one here, we didn't leave an awful lot. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll burn them. Now the thing to do is to kind of mold them in such a way that you will tighten it up. Now what I'm going to do, I'll come in on this too. What I'm going to do is bend this in such a way that as I burn it, it'll actually tighten it up when I bring it back. So I'm going to come around. I'm going to force that strand out as far as I can, and then I'm going to burn it. Okay. it set up a little bit. I don't want to burn my strands. Then I'm going to, before it's completely set up, I'm going to bring it around like that. Okay. Now my other strand right here, see it's movable on me. What I'm going to do, I'm going to push on this when I bring my rope around, and then I'm going to force it out. I'm going to try and get as much slack out of that as possible when I make up my ends. Okay. Now I'll hold in on that strand. Make sure you don't burn yourself on that stuff. It is really bad burn. Okay, now what I'm going to do is burn this side. Okay. Let it set up a little bit. You don't want it to burn your main strand. Then what I'm going to do is pull on it before it's completely set up. And then I've got my okay, let's see if I can do a little better on this one. I didn't like that way that one came out. Let's try this one here. We're going to get it a little bit tighter this time. Okay. Now we're going to bring that around. Let it set up. Now we're going to burn this side. And I think that's burning enough of them. You can get an idea of your splice, but this is about the way it's going to look on you. You're going to have, eventually this will probably get worked down a little bit more to where it will be a little bit more snug. The guy can get as much as possible out of there. When you do it, you're better off. You can see over here too on this one that I've got a little bit of a lump on there that would actually work itself down. If I was to put some tension on this rope, you can see that that's going to tighten up around there and it won't look so bad. Okay. In other words, this is before I burned it. And this is after over here. So you get an idea about what your long splice might look like. In other words, we could run this through sheaves, you see, because it doesn't increase the size of the rope. Makes a good splice that way. But like I say, it hasn't got the capacity. The butt splice or the straight splices get about 80% capacity of the strength of the rope. Where this, you won't see anybody ever give you the capacity, mainly because there's a lot of variables involved here. We could make it longer. I really feel that the way you burn it in right here also adds to the strength because it keeps it from unraveling. You see the ends won't pull out very easily right here. Good splice from the standpoint that it doesn't increase the size of the rope.